we are doing section 9.3 with geometric sequences in series. We did arithmetic sequences in series last time, which you are adding the same amount each time. Geometric is where we're multiplying the same amount each time. So we have something called a common ratio, which is R. And to find R, you take your second term over your first term, or your third term over your second term. So you're dividing the terms to find R. So example 1, if we go from 1 to 5, 5 to 25, 25 to 125, what are we multiplying by each time? 5. Okay, now if I couldn't look at it and figure it out, then I could say, well, let's take 5 over 1, or let's take 25 over 5, or let's take 125 over 25. So you just do the term over the previous term, and that all equals your common ratio, which is 5. And they call it ratio because it's dividing. So number 2, find your common ratio. Don't yell it out. Find it. Write it down. Brandon, while we're doing this, you checked out a book from me for a long time ago. So it doesn't have to be brought back in immediately. We just want to remind you. Anytime. And have it next class. Okay, so we can do negative 12 over 48, or we could do 3 over negative 12. These should all equal the same thing. So John, what'd you get? Negative 1/4 is correct. Good. So finding the nth term when we have a geometric sequence, our a sub n, I'm going to write this so it doesn't look so weird. Our a sub n is always going to be equal to a sub 1 multiplied by r to the n minus 1. So that's the formula that we need to know, that if we recognize its geometric sequence, we can just plug the information into this and we'll have the formula. We are also going to work on simplifying the formula. And I'll show you what that means, but we're going to make it so it says r to the nth power. So find the 6th term of the geometric sequence, 3, negative 15, 75. So we have a sub 1, which is 3. We need our r value. So to find our r value, I can take negative 15 divided by 3, which is negative 5. I'm going to do a sub, what are we doing, 6? Equals our first term 3. Multiplied by our r, which is negative 5, to the, and I'm doing 6 minus 1. So I would have 3 multiplied by negative 5 to the 5th. I don't know what negative 5 to the 5th is. I know what it is to the 4th. So it'd be 3 multiplied by negative 3, 1, 2, 5, which is whatever that is. 9375. I ran out of space over here. Negative 9375. There you go. If this is a non-calculator question, I'm not going to give you like super hard numbers. Write the first 5 terms of a geometric sequence, determine the common ratio, write the nth term of the sequence as a function of n. And then they gave us some information. So they've given us a sub 1 is 5. And then they've given us negative 2 multiplied by a sub k is equal to a sub k plus 1. We did this the very first day of this unit. So I need to find a sub 2. So to find a sub 2, what am I going to put in for k? Well, if I put in 2 here, I'm actually going to get a sub 3. So I'm going to put in 1, which means over here, k is going to be 1. So I get negative 2 a sub 1. So if I have a sub 2 equals negative 2 a sub 1, then I do negative 2 multiplied by 5, which is negative 10. So far my sequence is 5, negative 10. So to find a sub 3, I'm going to do negative 2 and into this k, or maybe I'll put k over here. Into the k, I'm going to have to plug in 2. So if I plug in 2 into k, then I get a sub 3 equals negative 2 a sub 2. So that'll be negative 2 multiplied by negative 10, which is 20. Kira, can you tell me what the next term would be? Negative 40. And did you go through all the work I did, or did you figure it out? Yeah. So what are we doing each time? Our R value, I'll go ahead and write that down. She said R is negative 2. And so we're just multiplying by negative 2 each time. So Chris, what would be our fifth? 80. Do we just have to do 5 or just say 6? 5. Okay. So now we have our first term. We have our R. So we're going to do the nth. So a sub n equals our first term, which is 5, multiplied by our R, negative 2, to the n minus 1. Okay, and then we're going to simplify this. So I'm going to simplify so it says negative 2 to the n when I'm done. It's always going to work the same. So negative 2 to the n minus 1 is the exact same thing as negative 2 to the n multiplied by negative 2 to the negative 1. So remember the properties of exponents. Properties of exponents. If we are multiplying same bases, negative 2 is the base, then we add the exponents. So I would have n plus a negative 1. So I'm just undoing that. I'm unmultiplying them. I'm factoring them. So I would just pull apart the exponents. Okay, then my next step is going to be, what is negative 2 to the negative first power? It is negative 1/2. Good. And then my last step is going to be, let's just multiply together 5 and negative 1/2, because those don't have exponents. So that'll give me negative 5/2 multiplied by negative 2 to the n. So that would be the simplified nth term. If I see the cell phones out, they will just go to the office. Thanks. We don't have that much time left. We can do it. All right. Example 5A. Write an expression for the nth term of the geometric sequence. So you're given a sub 1, you're given R, and then n is 10. So we're going to write an expression for the nth term for A. Go ahead and try that. So is there anything you can put? So I get 4 multiplied by 1/2 to the 9th. I bet I can do this without a calculator. I bet you could too if you thought about it. So let's evaluate this without a calculator. 1/2 to the 9th is 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2, etc. 9 times, right? 9 of them. 4 cancels out with some of the 1/2s. Do you need more time?
Sorry, I'm just thinking.
That's okay. I just don't know when your time is up. Let me know so I can give you.
30 minutes.
You have 30 left? Okay. So when your time runs out, everybody else got more time if you need it. There, just let me know. Okay. What happens to 4 when I multiply it by 1/2? Okay, what happens to 2 when I multiply it by 1/2? You guys know what I'm saying? Like 2 times 2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 to the 7th is what I would have left. Okay, so without a calculator, those are going to cancel. Oop, I wrote 1/7. I'm sorry. Was thinking too far ahead. 1/2 to the 7th. Do we know 2 to the 7th?
64.
What's 2 to the 5th? 32. So 2 to the 6th, 64. So 2 to the 7th, 128. So 1 over 128. Done. Just going over these ways to do it without the calculator because you will not have a calculator for some of this. So don't rely on it unless I say, now we can take out our calculator. I use the calculator on the multiplying 5 to the 5th power or whatever it was. But all right. Second question. We've got the second term and the 5th term. And then we're going to find the 3rd term. So when they give you 2 terms, that means you don't know R and you do not know A sub 1. This is the same thing that we had when we had arithmetic sequences. We didn't know A sub 1, we didn't know D. So if we have 2 unknowns, we're going to come up with 2 equations. Equation 1 and equation 2. We have 2 unknowns. I'm going to use A sub 2 equals 16 for the first equation. So we'll have A sub n, which is 16, equals A sub 1 multiplied by R to the 2 minus 1. So that would be my first equation. Plugged in the information that I knew. Second equation is going to be 27/4 equals A sub 1 multiplied by R to the 5 minus 1. So 2 equations, 2 unknowns. We're going to have to solve for A sub 1 and we're going to have to find R. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to erase 2 minus 1 and actually put that answer. Is that okay? I don't want to have to rewrite it. Yeah.
For the second one, shouldn't it be 6 minus 1?
No.
Okay.
So we use this as the n.
Then why did you do 2 minus 1 on number 1?
Wait. You were asking, should it be 5 minus 1 or 6 minus 1?
6 minus 1, and then on the one above, you did 2 minus 1.
I wrote 6 minus 1 or I wrote 5 minus 1?
You wrote 5 minus 1.
Yeah, so this is the n value. And we do n minus 1.
Okay, I get it now.
Okay.
Sorry, my mind.
That's okay. I was confused if I was wrong or you were just asking a question. Okay.
Just a little.
So for number 1, we have a sub 1 multiplied by r to the first power. I'm not going to write the 1. And then number 2, we've got 27/4 equals a sub 1 multiplied by r to the 4th. So in the first equation, I can solve for either a sub 1 or r. It doesn't matter. The second equation, it's going to be much easier to solve for a sub 1. Okay? So I'm going to solve this by substitution. So let's say my first equation, I'm going to change into a sub 1 equals 16 over r. So if I take what a sub 1 equals, 16 over r, and I replace that in my second equation for the a sub 1, I will have 27/4 equals 16 over r multiplied by r to the 4th. Questions about what I did? So now we only have r, so we can solve this equation for r. Have to multiply both sides by 1 over 16 or divide by 16. And then I'll have to cube root to get r equals 3/4. So now we know our r value. We have to plug that into one of the original equations to find the a sub 1. Plug into original to find a sub 1. It doesn't matter which original you plug it in, so I'm just going to choose plugging into 1. (16) equals a sub 1 multiplied by 3/4. So I'll multiply both sides by 4/3 to get a sub 1 by itself. And I get 64/3. So a sub 1, excuse me, a sub 1 equals, not a sub 1, a sub n equals 64/3 multiplied by 3/4 to the n minus 1. Now I have to find 3, which I am going to do in a moment, but I just want to go over this again about simplifying, because you're going to have to do that a bunch of times in your assignment. I want to make sure you know how to do it. So this is really not part of this question, except for I want to practice it. So really all I have to do now is plug in 3. That's all I need to do, okay? But I want to do this really fast. To simplify it, we're going to take 64/3 multiplied by 3/4 to the n multiplied by 3/4 to the negative 1. Okay, and then 3/4 to the negative 1 is actually what? 4/3. So I'm going to have 64/3 multiplied by 4/3 times 3/4 to the n. And that's going to give me 256 over 9 times 3/4 to the n. Okay, and we are finding, what are we finding? N equals 3. It doesn't matter which one you plug it into. It's probably going to be the exact same answer. Should be, I mean, it should be the exact same answer. I just was trying to figure out which one would be easier to plug it into. I don't know that if one of them's easier or not. So I'm plugging in 3 for n, and I just went ahead and took the 3 and applied it to both the numerator and the denominator of 3/4. And then I just know that 256 is 4 to the 3rd. No, it's not. It's 4 to the 4th. Sorry. It's 4 to the 4th. And then 4 to the 3rd on the bottom will cancel with all but one of those 4s. And then 9 is going to cancel with 2 of those 3s. So we'll have 12. Yes, dear.
On the test, are we going to have to be able to do these by hand?
You will have to be able to do a lot of the stuff by hand. Or I won't give you like really hard ones.
Okay.
So yes. Yeah. I was trying to think there was more to that, but there isn't. Okay. Geometric series is sum. Geometric series is when we add them all up. Sequences is when we list the terms. Series would be the sum. So we have a formula, just like we had a formula for arithmetic sequence or series. We have a formula for geometric series, and it is S sub n equals a sub 1. What's a sub 1 stand for? What's a sub 1 stand for? First term. And what's n stand for? What's n stand for? The number of terms. And what's r stand for? The common ratio, the thing that we just started doing today. So find the sum of the first 6 terms of this geometric series. So we have our first term, 3, multiplied by 1 minus, so I need my common ratio. So we'll do 15 over 3, which is 5. So we do 1 minus 5, and we do that to the number of terms we're doing, which is 6, over 1 minus 5. We will be able to use our calculator for this. Because we have to do 1 minus 5 to the 6 over, multiplied by 3, and then over -4. I don't know what 1 minus 5 to the 6 is. I don't even know what 5 to the 6 is, so. Remember, if you do alpha y equals on your calculator, unless you have the old one, if you do alpha y equals, it will give, and then enter, it will give you the fraction form. So you can just type it in as a fraction. Mark, did you get it? No problem, I wait. Is that what you guys got? Me neither. Nick, did you get it? What'd you get? Just waiting on Nick. Is that what you get, Chris? 11,000. So, Mark, I don't know what you did, but you may want to check your calculator or ask me if you don't know how to get the right answer. It should be 11,718.
I typed in the same exact thing. I got negative 3,073.
Let me see which type. Okay, so order of operations. You have to do exponents before you subtract. And you did negative 4 to the 6. So you subtracted first. I just typed in 3 parentheses 1 minus 5 to the 6. Yeah. So if you're allowed to use your calculator, gosh, don't simplify anything. Calculator will follow order of operations, okay? If I need you to know the order of operations, then I'll just make you do it by hand, but we're not gonna do this by hand. Okay, example 7, find the sum of the first 10 terms of the geometric series. The sum of the first 10 terms. So first term is 2. We're gonna multiply that by 1 minus. We're doing 10 terms, so nope, that's R. Something to the 10th. So we do the second one over the first one, negative 1/2 is our rate. And then we do 1 minus negative 1/2 on the bottom. So you don't even have to simplify anything. You can just type that into your calculator as is. You don't have to simplify anything on your own. I mean, it's great that you can. Caroline, what'd you get?
1,025 over 768.
Did anybody else get that?
Yeah.
It's not what I got. But I mean, I could be making a mistake, but it's not what I got. John, what'd you get? While he's figuring that out, who has the 83, the one with the yellow button? Somebody in here has one. One of these guys with the yellow button. You do? Do you do too, Lydia, or you were just, yeah. It's just like harder for you guys to type it in. You got like extra parentheses and stuff. So make sure you're getting the right answer. And if you're not, let me know so I can see what you're doing wrong. Hold on.
No, I think I know what people are getting wrong. Because like I typed it in like the first time as like I changed like where it's the minus negative 1/2. I changed that to plus.
On top?
And it and well for both of them and it changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because on top, if you make it plus, because it's negative 1/2 to an even power, it's going to be a positive answer. So it's not actually going to change that one there. I didn't simplify anything. I typed it in exactly as is. What'd you get, John? Can you math enter that and change it into a fraction? Mine's a fraction. Okay.
341.
That's what I got.
Yeah. 341 over 256 is correct. Yeah.
Wait, did I do something wrong this time? I got 128.
You got what?
I got 128 on the bottom. I got the top one.
You kind of squared on the bottom.
Oh.
It's
just supposed
to be. Thank you. Oh, you know what? He's not here. Maybe. Now I have to look him up.
Cyberbullying.
Nope, nope. All right, next, find the sum of each geometric series. So we have n equals 1 to 5. And we're finding the sum when we have an formula of 3 to the n. So I can find my first term, which is 3 to the first, which is 3. How do I find my r? From this, how do I find my rate? Right?
It's what's being multiplied exponentially. And it's the 3.
It is 3. So it's that number that's raised to the exponent. That's the rate. If you weren't sure, or that just totally like in and out, you could just find the second term and then divide or make a ratio of 9 over 3, and that gives us the rate, which, oh, it is 3. So then we'll do S sub, and we're doing how many terms? How many terms am I doing? 5. We do 5 minus 1 plus 1 for the number of terms. So 5. Equals, we do our first term, 3, multiplied by 1 minus our rate, 3 to the 5th power, over 1 minus 3. So just type it in your calculator as is. As is. Is. And then someone lucky will be called on. Lena, what'd you get? 363 is correct. Good job. Okay, how about question B? So I need my first term, and then I need my rate. To get my first term, I'm going to input 1 into 2/3 to the n minus 1. So my first term is, do you think you need to pass?
I mean, I got a 57, so.
No, a pass.
Oh, no. I thought you said, do you think you passed?
Oh.
I don't know.
I hope so. All right, bye. I'm sorry, what's the answer? 1. All right, and then you might be able to look at it and figure out your rate. If you can't, we can find the second one, 2/3 to the 2 minus 1, which is 2/3. And then you do 2/3 over 1, which is a rate of 2/3. So S sub, we're doing 4 terms. Equals first term is 1 multiplied by 1 minus 2/3 to the 4 over 1 minus 2/3. Nairi, did you get it yet? Almost, okay. Is that what you guys got? 65 over 27 is what she said. Did you get that, Sarah? That's what I got too. All right. The sum of an infinite geometric series, has a formula. But there is an important part to this formula. If the absolute value of R is less than 1, it has a sum. If not, we can't find the sum. It would be like infinity. We couldn't find it. So if the absolute value of the rate is less than 1, we can find the answer. And we have this formula. The sum equals a sub 1 divided by 1 minus R. So the first thing we do is decide what our R value is. Well, we also have to find our a sub 1. So a sub 1, what am I going to plug in? For a sub 1, what am I plugging in? 1 is incorrect, but thank you for trying. It tells me what to plug in. See this bottom number? This is what we plug in. That is not the term number. This is what do you plug in? And the first one, the bottom one, is for the first term. So a sub 1, we're plugging in 0. So I'm going to have negative a half to the 0 power, which is 1. And then my R. So you can find your a sub 2 and make a ratio of a sub 2 over a sub 1, or you might be able to recognize what is R. What's R? Negative a half. So because this R is less than 1, we can do this formula. So S equals 1 over 1 minus negative a half. I'm just doing it by hand, but. So you should get 2/3 for that sum. Did anybody do it on the calculator? Did I get 2/3? Okay, like I didn't make a mistake. All right, how about B? A sub 1 is 8. And then we have to do 1 minus the rate. So I just need to know what the rate is. 3/4? So 3/4 is a rate that will give us an answer. So we can continue. So we're doing like 8 divided by 1/4, which is the same thing as 8 multiplied by 4, which is 32. That's it. Short day. So you guys have an assignment. It is in the book. Hopefully I included the book page on your modules for today. Some of you may have some catching up to do, not sure. But next class, we're going to have a review for 9.1 to 9.3. And then we're also going to start learning 9.5. Class after that, we're having a quiz on 9.1 to 9.3. And we'll kind of finish up 9.5. If we need any more 9.5 time, it'll just push to the next day. And then after that, we'll have a test review and hi. So somebody brought a note down for you, but I couldn't figure out if it was coming from the guidance office. Like, I don't know where it came from.
It was pink, so it's probably from the office.
Yeah, but it wasn't, it was like, it didn't say is leaving at a certain time. It looked like, please, it was like, stop by.
Sometimes you don't need to, like, if you're getting that note, you don't need to leave. Maybe they're just like, hey, you need to pick up something.
Yeah,
or
I don't
you need
know.
to pay off some debt.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from, but
Like,
They'll come find you again. I told them you weren't here, so they'll look it up.
Yeah.